Good evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you happen to be at this time of day. I have here a bunch of micro SD cards, and on each one of them is another Windows operating system or Microsoft operating system. We've got Server 2022, Windows 10, and Windows 11. And the goal is, or the plan, is to install each of them on my gaming rig over here. So it's a can't remember exactly what the motherboard is, but it's a Ryzen 5600. We've got 48 gigs of, I think it's 3200 or 3600 DDR4 RAM. It's no laggard, and I actually bought a new NVMe M.2 Samsung 980 Pro hard drive, just so that I'd have an empty hard drive to test this out on. I did start off initially with this piece of crap. And oh my god, you can really feel it. It really does. It would have been fine in its day, but that day is long gone now. I just looked massively sidetracked just then. We're going to install them in the computer over here, and we're going to install the Windows updates. We're going to turn off telemetry, and we're going to install the graphics card. So the graphics card is an RTX 3080. So we'll install the graphics card drivers, and then we will and run the Heaven benchmark. So the plan is we'll install the Afterburner to log how well the system is utilized and what the thermals look like and everything. I can't imagine the thermals are going to look anything different between different operating systems, but we can certainly look at RAM and CPU usage and things like that. And yeah, the plan is we'll run Heaven, we'll run it for like 2 minutes just to warm up, and then we'll run it 3 times, and then we'll repeat the process for each other operating system, and then we'll collect the numbers. There's 2 hard drives in here, so I can store all the data on the other hard drive, and then we can do a comparison. So we can get a little bit scientific. We can do best of 3, or not best of 3. We'll do some averages and stuff or whatever, some statistical analysis. We'll work out what our mean is and our standard deviations, stuff like that. And then we'll work out if there is a measurable difference between different operating systems when it comes to the quality of the benchmark in Heaven. So ultimately, the minimum or we want to look at like the 99% FPS and the lowest FPS and things like that to see whether the operating system makes any difference at all. Either Windows 10 or Windows 11, I'm not sure. Going to chuck that in the card reader. I think I've already switched. Yeah, I've got this input switcher over here. I think I've already switched over to the tower. Oh, and I unplugged the tower today. Plug that in. We had a lightning storm, so most things in this room are on a UPS. Unfortunately, my tower is just a bit too much for the UPS that I have. Okay, I didn't switch the input there. There we go. Now we've switched it. So I just unplugged it during the lightning storm. So we want the SanDisk. I'm just looking for. I probably don't need to set it to Australia, but there we go. Because we're just running the tests, so. We're just going to run it as evaluation, and we're going to run Windows 10 Pro. So we've chosen Pro, so we know that next time it's going to be Windows 11. All right, let's go with Pro. That could be another video, couldn't it? All right, this is the one. So this one is games. Don't delete games. Operating system, delete operating system. So that's okay. It's all right. I know what I'm doing. It's saying down here, it can't be installed on this drive. It's all right. I know what's going on. All right. So I just delete everything, and then I just click new, and then I let Windows do all the extra partitioning crap that it needs to do, and then we're good to go. That was pretty fast. Copying the files. Getting the files ready. I'm guessing it's unpacking them. I'm guessing it has to unzip them all. That's all right. We've got 12 cores. We can do this. While that's happening, I'm just going to look. So I'm recording audio on this old phone that we got laying around. Cool. I just want to make sure that it doesn't just kill the app. Yeah, so that says 846 and we're up to 833, so that's good. Yeah, I turned the screen off, so I just want to make sure that it's continuing to run. Otherwise, I'll just be talking heaps, and then I'll go to edit the video and the sound together, and there'll be no sound, and that would be very bad. But so far, it's looking good. I have this SD card in there, but I think it writes everything to the phone first, and then you have to manually copy it across to the SD card. So it's probably a waste of time and effort there, but oh well. All right, restarting now. I guess we can pull this bad boy out. Guess this can be part of the test as well. It's just how quickly can we install Windows, and is it quicker if it's Windows 11 or if it's Server 22? We can always watch the video and time it and stuff. Would be great if we had a clock somewhere, and then we could just read the clock instead of looking at the time on the video. Maybe we can later on we can get the video and just add a clock digitally. I'm not sure. Well, and then after that we can cut it. We can slice it and dice it if there's any dead space that we need to cut out there. I think we might aim to do one operating system a night, and we'll just do it in 3 recordings. We'll see how we go. Now we've got quite a nice fast internet connection over here, so that's pretty good. Apologies if you can hear the air conditioner in the back of the room. It is unseasonably cold at the moment. We're in September now. It's meant to be getting warmer, but this today was just brutal. I had hail, so I was sitting here looking out the window today, and I could clearly see hail outside. So yeah, a bit odd for September. I think getting rains heading into spring or the end of winter is normal, but is this in a boot loop? I think this is in a boot loop. Did we screw up? I don't think so. Okay, just needed to reboot like 3 or 4 times. Actually, I think there was like 3 times. 2 or 3 times. I completely lost track about what I was talking about. Just hail, I think. Very cold. One moment, please. That's my Big Clive impression. We'll see how well that comes through on the audio recording. So it says there on the screen, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it says more important setup stuff to do, etc. Let's just put Brad and super top secret password. Don't look. I'll just get in the way so you can't see. I have to type it in again. I'll probably just cut that out entirely. Oh God. All right, I'm just going to put God for all of these. I was born in God, and my nickname was God. There we go. We're just going to delete it in like half an hour or something. Not even half an hour. No. Skip. No. Okay. Oh, there's more. Ah. Alright, I think I know which one takes the longest to install. Actually, out of Windows Server and Windows 10, I think Windows Server 2022 is winning so far. I could be wrong, but we'll do exactly the same process with Windows 11 and Windows Server 22, and then we can do some comparison. We're going to this much trouble anyway, we may as well get as much information as we can from the experience, and maybe we can help somebody along the way. All right. NVIDIA control panel just got installed. I mean, so this is actually pretty neat. Like, I've just turned it on, and it looks like my NVIDIA drivers are already installed. So, I mean, points to Windows 10. This wasn't even something that I considered. It's already chosen the native resolution, but I'm just going to crank that all the way up to 144. This display is capable of G-Sync, so it's already switched on. So just out of the box, I've got to say, that was pretty good. Do I want Armory Crate? No. It's just, okay. Man, I've just turned it on and it's already ramming Edge down my throat. Gotta say, not thrilled about that. No. All right. Okay, great. So that's off my checklist. That's one step already done, which is installing the graphics drivers. So that's already done. The next thing we're going to do is go to Windows Update, and we're going to check for updates. I think it was already done. So I think when it took a little while, it was actually already frantically just downloading updates. Nope. Okay, never mind. I take that back. I think I will definitely need to pause the recording. It is making progress. We'll see how we go with that. While it's installing updates, we can also install the Heaven benchmark. So we've got, and we can also install, I've got it saved under OS test installers. And this version is 56094. I think that was a different version to the one that just got installed. So I think we will install. Oh, I don't even see it now. System information. What have we got? It might be a bit frustrating looking at the computer from this distance. I appreciate that, but I don't have a capture card. Oh, there it is. Driver version is 5.11.79, so it isn't the latest version. We will install the other driver, just to make it a fair playing field between all the different operating systems. I don't have a capture card, so I'm not going to install OBS on this computer because I feel like that will interfere with the testing, and I want the testing to be as fair as possible. And you know, we add more elements to the system, we make it more complicated. It means that we have more steps to follow. We install OBS. So I did bring it down and I did consider using OBS, but I feel like this is probably going to be enough. And if it's not, I'm sorry, I apologize. But it's, you know, we'll do a little write-up at the end. We'll show some graphs. So I think that's the thing that you really want to see. Don't really want to see this. You just want to know, are my games going to run better on server, or are they going to run better on Windows 11? How much is Windows 11 going to eat my resources, and how much, you know, is whatever. Okay, so let's install the updated driver. And running the OS on an NVMe drive is just bliss. It is so fast. I've got a couple of nice SATA SSDs in there, but just nothing compares. And it's quite cheap now. I think, you know, the Samsung 980 Pro was like 150 Australian dollars, so not that much. I'm not going to include the GeForce Experience for two reasons. One, it's more services that are going to run in the background that we probably don't need. It's going to obviously affect our frames FPS. And the other one is you have to sign in to use the GeForce experience, and it's just a hassle. So I'm not going to do it. And for for what we're doing right now, I think that's perfectly fine. Can I run the MSI Afterburner installer at the same time? I feel like I'm here be dragons. I think we'll run one installer at the time. I think it's enough that we've got Windows Update going at the same time as the GeForce drivers installing. And we're at 44% with the cumulative update for Windows 10 version 22 H2. So we'll, it seems to be stuck at 44%. So we'll see how we go. And I think I will set this portrait monitor the right way around, because that's just annoying me right now. So let's just quickly, this isn't part of the test, but I will do the same thing with everything else as well. And that's the right way around. Just need to shift that up a little tiny bit. In the middle, oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's upside down. Let's flip that over. All right, let's remember that that is flipped. It's close enough. Probably needs to come down just a touch. All right, really not super important right now. Okay, that made it 1,000 times worse. There we go. Oh, that's much better. All right, let's install Afterburner. And definitely not Norton 364 Gamer. Not interested in that. More services that are going to chew up resources. I really don't think it's necessary these days. Let's hope we don't have to eat those words. Okay, quickly click yes to everything without reading it. Installing all of that. And let's get our Unigame Heaven ready as well. I closed the update thing, but I'm pretty sure it was still... Yeah, okay, 74%. So we'll wait for that to get to 100%, and then we'll we'll restart, and then we can run Heaven, and we can record some data, and then that will bring us up to the end of tonight. That'll be 10 o'clock, so I need to go to bed on time. I've been staying up too late. So if we can do one, what's the time now? 23, we've been going for 23 minutes. So if we can get start to finish, install the operating system, update the drivers, opt out of telemetry, and then run Heaven, get some data. If we can do that in like half an hour for 3 computers, I think that's great. And then we can obviously just trim all the dead space and all the stuff that adds no value at all. I accept. Yes, yes, okay. We're at 97%. That was pretty slick, I've got to say. I've got my plan over here. So while that's happening, let's go into Registry Editor. We're also going to opt out of telemetry. We're going to go to HKey local machine. We're going to go to software. We're going to go to policies, Microsoft, because it's the only thing there. Windows, data collection, and then we're going to create a new D word, 32-bit. We're going to call it allow telemetry. Yep, allow telemetry, and it's 0. So we've opted out of telemetry there. Fortunately, it's not an opt-in process, it's an opt-out process, so that's fun. There's some installing Microsoft DirectX R, apparently. That's interesting. I figured that would already be there. We can also go into, let's do the double whammy. if we go to settings, privacy and security, I don't know if this is also necessary now that we've done the registry changes, but we're here. Oop. Okay, there's the Riva tuner thingy. And my settings disappeared. So we want to go privacy and security. Privacy settings. Come on. We're not going to do any overclocking as well. But what we will be doing is we'll right click on here and log history to file. And then we can log all the things. We've got all the temperatures, we've got all the clocks, we've got power. I believe we have memory utilization. I don't actually. There it is. There's your memory utilization. And it'd be interesting to see if clock speeds are any different between operating systems. I know server is built for. Hang on, I just need to read for a second. Let Windows track app launches. Nah. Okay, that's not even the thing that I wanted. Diagnostics and feedback. Required. Optional. Okay, we're on required there. That's as good as we can get it there. Connected user experiences. All of that's off. That's diagnostic information. Privacy and security. I think we're in privacy and security right now. Turn off optional diagnostic. Oh, okay. So that's what we've done. We've turned off the optional diagnostic data. That's good. Then we can go into services. And we can go to the connected, I'm guessing it's the Microsoft or the Windows connected. It's not there. Maybe it is just the connected user experiences and telemetry. Let's stop that and set that to disabled. All right, we've done three things. We've done registry changes, we've gone into settings, and then we've killed the connected user experiences and telemetry service. So that's done. All right, I think our update. I'm a Dvorak typist, so if you see me fumbling around, it's because I haven't changed the keyboard layout to Dvorak. All right. We're going to install all the updates. What are we up to? We're up to 28 minutes. You probably don't need to see all of this, so we'll probably just do lots, like anytime there's any waiting or anything, we'll probably just cut that right out. So we've installed all the updates. We've got the Windows updates in. I've just installed off camera Heaven. There's nothing interesting there. All up to date. Optional quality stuff. I'm just going to leave that for the time being. Just taking a look at resource utilization. We can see the CPU sitting around 1 or 2%. There's not a whole lot going on over there. Memory, 3.4 gigabytes. SSDs are sort of doing nothing there. The occasional spike on the Ethernet. Processors, we've got 33 background processors and 80 or 79 Windows processors there. Obviously the three apps that we're running right there. So I've just I think I've turned on, have I turned it on? Yes, I'm logging the history to file there. So under logs, we've got the hardware monitoring. Just open that with, I assume it's a text-based format. It is. Look at that, that's beautiful. So there's all of our data coming through. That's lovely. And nothing's happening now, but we're going to load up Heaven. I agree. And I'm going to I'm just going to go with the default settings. It is set to full screen and the resolution is system. So we'll run that for a couple minutes. All right. So the time now is 10:15. So I think we'll wait until, or the clock down there, I don't know what time that is. It must be American time? Not entirely sure. It says 12 a.m. or 12:16. When that gets to 12:17, or maybe we should wait for the temperature to stabilize up there, because then we'll know that everything is sort of up to temperature. I can still see it's climbing, but it's starting to plateau at around 73. Oh, damn. Okay, that's annoying. So as soon as you click out of heaven, oh, look at that. You can see the temperature dropped immediately. So it looks like I can still use the scroll wheel. I just can't click. That's incredible. Yeah, as soon as you leave heaven, bang, everything starts to ramp down. Clocks start ramping down. It's pretty wild stuff. You can see fan speeds are still ramping up. We're at the power limit. And I can see the CPU temperatures are ramping up still as well. So, well, we'll give it a little more time. I will have to call it a night soon, though. I can see that the charge on the gimbal is getting pretty low. So we will have to call it a night soon. So CPU temperatures just about hit 60. It's fluctuating between 59 and 60 there. And GPU, it's fluctuating between 77 and 76. Yeah, 77, 76, 74, 77. I think we're steady now. CPU, oh no, that's the fan. CPUs, yeah, that looks pretty steady around 60, 61, 59. Okay, that's because the fans, they're still ramping up a little bit. So we might actually see, oh no, CPU just went up a bit higher as well, 63. So I guess we'll start to look for ripples, and then we'll know that we're pretty close to steady state. It's pretty cool. You can see the little dips between scenes there. Oof, that was a big dip between scenes. You can hear this thing. It starts picking up the noise from the monitor. And you get this hissing. It's not very nice. Yeah, I can see the temperatures are still rising on the CPU, but I think we're almost there. All right, we'll give it another 30 seconds. That's pretty steady now. That's been at 77 for a while now. I mean, we've been on the power limiter basically the entire time. At 342 watts. That's pretty wild stuff. Fan speed steady at 61 now. Yeah, there's your power limit. I think our CPU is pretty steady as well now. That'll do. 69. Let's begin the benchmark. Here we go. So we're getting 234 frames per second at the moment. I think what we'll do is we'll just, oh, this is the more interesting thing down here, I think. So you got your min FPS, which is 120. Max FPS is 399. That 400 right now. It's pretty epic. That's far more frames per second than one would ever need. especially considering that this monitor refreshes at a rate of about 144 frames per second, that is. But I want to see, are my numbers different on Windows Server? Are they any different on Windows 11? This is the test. And what's our data collection going to say? Is it going to be, you know, Windows 10 used more resources, but it was also faster? Or Windows 11 used more resources and it was also faster? Or is it going to say, you know, Windows Server used fewer resources and was faster? Who knows? That's why we're testing it. That's why we're collecting the hard data. I'm doing the science, so you can just sit back and benefit from my my hard work. What are we up to? Like 29 minutes of it so far in terms of effort. Ooh, minimum FPS is down to 70.3. I guess it's bound to happen. Hopefully we can save these results. Otherwise, we'll have to get low tech, and I have a notepad and a pen, and we can write it down the old-fashioned way. We're on scene 16 of 26. How's my battery going? I plugged the gimbal into a Targus like laptop charger, you know, universal charger, and it seemed that it charged very, very rapidly. So that's awesome. No, I don't want to touch the mouse while it's doing its testing. Oh, the min FPS has gone down to 61.8, but the max FPS has gone up to 505.8. We're currently doing an FPS of 274. 274.6 is where it seems to be hanging out at the moment. That's me looking down the bottom there. Up the top, it's a bit hard to say. It seems to flick around quite a lot. It just said 300 just then. Yeah, so on that scene change, I could see the frames dropping way down and then coming back up again. All right, we've got our results. I'm just going to write it down. So, preset custom, what? That's not what I chose. So, the first heaven, I'll just write heaven 1, win 10. We've got 282 FPS. That's the main metric that we're looking at, 282. We've also got the score of 7102. Min 61.8. Max of 529.5. The rest of it's just stuff about my system. There is a save button. I will put renderer. I'll just put the other info just to make sure it's consistent across each test. Direct 3D11, 2560 by 1440 full screen.
preset custom. This is, yep, okay. And then quality is high. And then tessellation disabled. All right, let's repeat that whole process. Hit save. And we can save that to, I think I'll just put it on desktop. Add new tab, remove tab, okay. Did it save to desktop? There it is. Okay, so let's cut that and put that in my logs, win10. And that's time stamped. So we'll just, oh, I don't want to hit save again. So we've got the timestamp benchmark there. There it is. Okay, so it's just everything I just wrote down, but in HTML format. That's fine. So let's run it again. And I'm going to stop recording for this. You've already seen what it looks like, so I don't really see the point in subjecting you to exactly the same thing. I don't know if I want to do it 3 times now. That just seems very tedious. No, we need 3 times. We've got to see where the outliers are. I mean, really, 3 is the absolute bare minimum. So, oh, battery's low again. Got to give it a little top up there. So we'll stop it there, and I'll run it 2 more times. We'll collect the data, and then I'm going to call it a night. And then tomorrow we'll plug in Windows 11, and we'll do the same process again. And when we're finished, we will install LibreOffice on our final operating system, which will be Server 22. And we'll do some graphs, and we'll crunch some numbers, and we'll come up with a conclusion. The question is, was this a big waste of time? Well, we'll find out in like, well, for me, like another hour at this rate. But for you, hopefully not that long. All right. Yesterday we've installed Windows 10, installed all the drivers, turned off telemetry, and installed Heaven and MSI Afterburner, and we ran 3 benchmark tests, and we've recorded the results, and that brings us to today. So what I wanted to do is just, I've got my watch here, so we'll grab the stopwatch app, and I just want to see, I'll just switch the input to the keyboard there. I want to see how fast the start and shut down is. So we're going to test that one out. Just got to work out how to get to the stopwatch on this thing. Okay, here we are. So we've got stopwatch there. I don't know if this is really necessary. I don't understand. I have add timer. I don't want to add a timer. Oh, okay. I had to restart the stopwatch. It was already part the way in. I was going to try and ignore the boot screen, but I think just to make it as easy as possible, I'm going to press the stopwatch as soon as I press the button on the tower. So 1, 2, 3. All right, the tower is starting up and the stopwatch is running there. So it's obviously there's the BIOS time that we need to factor in there. Oh, okay. Now that wouldn't have been a cold start. So let me just hide my keyboard while I type in my password. All right. So we're going to hold Shift and press the shutdown. I'm pretty sure I can stop the stopwatch now. So if it's still running, God damn, there was a lot going on just now, and I think I screwed that up. All right, let's try again. So start the stopwatch. All right, so that was 15 seconds from a cold start. Bear in mind, some of that is the BIOS going on. Whoopsie. But I do believe that was a cold start. Let's just try it one more time. So let's do it with a shutdown. So we'll do let's do S actually. Okay, so hard shutdown, and we'll see how long this one takes. Timers, let's go back to the stopwatch. Restart. All right, let's run it and see how long it takes to shut down. Shutting down. We'll wait for the lights to go off. All right, 5 seconds. That's not bad. Reset the timer. Okay, and start. God damn it. It took me like 3 attempts to start the watch there. In fact, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to bother. Let's just wait for it to boot up, and we'll shut it down. Now, I don't know if fast boot is on the BIOS or not. All right, here we go. There we go. Managed to start it correctly on the watch there. Okay, that was 13 seconds thereabouts. And obviously getting into the desktop environment is, it's not as fast as server actually. Pretty fast though. I wasn't timing it, but that was probably a few seconds there. Oh, what is this evil nonsense down here? That's new. I don't even want to click on it. I'm going to click on it. Okay. I don't like it. It's Copilot. Go away. All right. Cool. So that's Windows 10 clean boot. We've run Heaven. We've got our results. So a lot of this was done off camera. But we've got the three results here. So we've got the first one was 7102 as the score, then 7100, and then 7089. So pretty good consistency, I think. With FPS at around 281, and that was the quality high on 256 by 1440 full screen. So we've got these results for Windows 10. We know that PUBG works fine on Windows 10, so I don't think that's what we're going to test. I don't think we're going to start Steam right now. What I am going to do is shut it down. Just make sure that's on the correct. So we've got our results. We've got our hardware monitoring results here from MSI or Riviera Tuner. I'm not sure. Whatever it is that you install when you install that, and that's all on the game hard drive. So that's on my game hard drive over here, and we're gonna erase everything on our local drive, and we're going to do it again, but this time with this micro SD card. So, assuming I haven't already swapped these around, we'll know pretty quick anyway if we've screwed it up. Let's pop that in there. And actually, if we plug it in, we should be able to tell right away. UEFI-NFS. I believe this is the Windows 11 because that's what is showing up over here. So let's restart the computer. Okay, that's interesting. And then we just, for this motherboard, we're just going to mash the F8 key. Here we are. Ooh, it's different. Okay. Ooh, it's United Kingdom. Very nice. And there's Dvorak over there. Ah, screw it. Why not? Let's set this to Australia. I'm not a fan of that slider there. What was going on there? That was weird. English, Australia. Yep, that'll do. Let's install. No Pro key. We're going to go with the last time it was Pro, so we're going to go with Pro again. It's Pro for workstations, Pro for education, many options to choose from. On Windows 11, well, we can upgrade it. We're not going to do that because I want to start clean. So it's an apples comparison. So there's our games on drive 1, partition 2. So now the drive 0 is the one that we're after here. Just leave all the partitions off of drive 0. Okay. And we're new once again. We're going to let the installer handle all the partitions. And so the process begins again. Very similar, identical, I would say, to Windows 10, or practically identical. Like the borders are like the corners, the edges of the window are more rounded, I think. But substantially, there's no real change there. Probably in the shot, I think I really need to be honest. We'll speed this up. Right way down. What software we use to do that? I have used OpenShot before. It's worked fairly well for me in the past, so I'll probably do that. We're 10 minutes in already. Practically done nothing. Let's finish installing updates as one of the steps there. I can't remember if it was the same thing on Windows 10 or not. Go that way up. And restart now. Ooh, it's different. Very exciting. Oh, it's bigger. Oh, it also makes some size. It's bigger and smaller and it's rotating. Very exciting. Which seems to take longer. That seems to take longer. The thing is we are recording everything, so we can take time and we can do a bunch of comparisons. Right, let's pick number 1. Well, this is number 2, I suppose. And number 3. There we go. Very similar experience with this here. Notice that the loading things are more jumpy. Getting blinded. Oh, alright, checking for updates. At least this, I think this is a bit more transparent about what it's doing. With the Windows 10, it just seemed to take a really, really long time. With the Windows 11, it's actually telling us that it's installing the updates. And even then, once you're in, you still have to go into Windows Updates anyway and manually go ahead and install all that stuff as well. So let's skip for now. Use a personal Microsoft account. No way. So you cannot proceed. You shall not pass. You must use an account. What? Are you serious? Okay, I'm going to go set up for personal use. I don't want to sign in. Wow. It says my name joining. What? Password doesn't match. Oh god. Okay. So it says, that's a little bit sneaky. It says like domain account, but I'm not going to join it to a domain. So I think they're just trying to throw people off a little bit there. Sneaky. Yeah, I think this is a longer process than Windows 10. Might be crackle. I'm just calling up my microphone cord. Just a bit too long. Wait, too short now. That'll do.
Seems that 12 is just a little bit. Alright, no, everything much. Good over there. Yeah, well, yes, that's nice. And you guys are on your source, so nice source. It's only source. What's me? It's only size. That's it. People are just check this, check this. That's very nice. There you go. Right, it's piece of that's nice. That's really nice. What? Yes, yes. How that's great. This is very nice. That's what it's saying. Okay, and you got there. Yeah, that's what it's saying. I guess that's the videos. Once we get those things before. I'm sure you guys know that. Right, so down here. This is good. I think that's what I'm doing. This is also nice. What's again? Nope, don't see. Okay, then I'm just okay, full solution. So I'm going to what is in any worries? Okay, now there's all the exercise. There's also so where you can. So there it is. It's also a machine. So that. So then massage, release, innovation. So yeah. So that's action. Not every single industry. So this is. You have to use a get use experience. There's a rough nails off. All right, that might be something you're so you use that off. And go to Rossi, 6. And was it? Rossi, 3, Rossi, 6, Rossi, and Rossi. Rossi 3, Rossi back. That's Rossi, Rossi off. We're going to see same point out address. And Rossi is also 2, so. All right, let's go. Let's go. Again, after the visuals, so then you want, the experience, page notes, driver understanding. All right, so teaching up all the stuff. And the surprise results. So cool. Yeah, you like this, there's a big issue. See, yeah. Patience. This is cool, it's like something else. One last touch. No, this is like, okay, this is not that's not true. Just a time. Yes. Right, sure, it's like, it's like, okay. Yeah, okay, time. So you see? Yes, you're fine. You're looking for now. Yeah, this is good. I'm around series. Pretty sure that's the that's a possible. I'm not happy. No. No. Yeah, okay. Ready to go? Got stuff? Yeah, okay. Let's look for channel system. Ooh, it's a jump gun. Amazing. Yeah, that's what I'm cool. I'll see it. I'll see it. It's going to be Jane, no place. Everyone's seen this. No, what do you see?
Frame rate's at 400 just then. Alright, I think we're going to hit the benchmark.
It's consistent. Wow, that is very interesting. That is very interesting. I know you can still hear me on this microphone, but it looks like we're about 400 points up just by using Windows 11. That is a surprising result. Anyway, we need at least 3, so let's be scientific about this. One more time. So we just finished the 3 runs of Heaven on Windows 11, and to my amazement, they are faster. So far, Windows 11 is faster than Windows 10 on Heaven, and it rhymes as well. So that's fantastic. We've got scores of around 7100 on Windows 11, and then on the same settings, but Windows, sorry, I think I on the same, so on Windows 10 7100, and then on the same settings but Windows 11 7500. So that is an improvement. It's a difference of around 16 frames per second on average. The highs don't go as high, but the lows didn't go as low. So I guess you got a little bit more stability there with Windows 11, which is probably the sort of thing that you want. Less likely to have stuttering and stuff like that as well. So that's next on the list. That's this white card over here, white and blue. So it's kind of a bit sad. Gone to all this trouble, got a new operating system installed, and just like tears in the rain, we're gonna put an end to it. But that's just life, isn't it? Oh yeah, one last thing that I wanted to check out: Task Manager. So we've got 34 background processes, 85 Windows processes. And if we just leave it for a minute, take a sip of the drink. So nothing ought to be happening right now. I mean, we did run Heaven just now. It might be fairer to restart the computer and then do this test. But we can see that CPU usage is essentially 0. That's to be expected with this hardware. It's not the greatest hardware, but it's certainly not. It's no laggard, so to speak. So there's all of our various cores. So yeah, no surprises there. CPU usage is almost nil. But memory is sitting around 4 gigs. Now that is just under 10% on this system, but that's not bad. A little bit of traffic going on with the Ethernet, but that really is just nothing to be surprised about there. So there we go. We've got those stats. That'll also be recorded from the Afterburner stuff as well.
That's not like that. Yeah. Alright, can you get it in now? There's your Alright, yes, research. There's your easel. Go battery, there's one. So, okay. Read, now see. So the screen.
Let's go with our very secure password. Oh my goodness. Ah, complexity requirements. How's that for complexity requirements, huh? If we decide to keep this one, we can always, I'm going to disable that right away. So just go manage server properties, do not start automatically. Okay, that's that one taken care of. We're going to install basically everything, just like we did with it last time. So there's that one, there's MSI without Norton 360 for gamers. And Heaven, yep, accept all the, sign my life away. It's like a click trainer, just got to hit the hit boxes. All right, did we click the driver? Yep, we've got the driver on its way. We've got the MSI, we've got the Heavens. So we got those three things. They're the things that we wanted. Just the driver, please. It's installing the webcam and stuff in the background. Okay. And we can open up a terminal. Oh, we don't have terminal. I wonder if we can get that on Windows Server. I do like terminal. We can use the old sconfig. We can do a couple of things. We can disable the telemetry. Where are we? Remote desktop. Normally have that on. Telemetry. Let's turn that one off. Yes, I want to change the telemetry settings. Hang on, what just happened? Oh, okay. I think it's because I typed a P or an R instead of a Y just then. I normally use Dvorak. I want off. Okay, telemetry is now off. And then we're going to go and install all the updates as well. All of the quality updates. Okay, so we've got MSI installed. NVIDIA is on its way. We're installing or downloading the updates and we're working out which updates we want. Let's have a look at our little cheat sheet here. OS test installers, the plan, and we want the connected user experiences and telemetry off as well. I don't know if that connected user experience. Okay, connected user experience. Let's set that to disabled and stop. Okay, that is now disconnected or shut down. All right, you know what? I think that was a quicker process. I guess we haven't installed the updates yet, but I think that got us up and running probably the quickest out of the lot. Let me think. We need to go up to the right. And let's reorganize that screen there. Portrait flipped. There we go. And we'll just align those two screens. Nice. Okay. Now we need to go into the privacy settings while the Windows updates are downloading. Nope. Yeah, I don't really care so much about those things, but I do want, where is it? My camera. Oh, there it is. I want to allow apps access to my camera and my microphone. I can also see that there's no microphone down there. So we also need to start the audio service as well. Can't remember what it's called. It's probably the Microsoft audio experience. Nope. Audio, or is it sound? Goodness me. The audio service is not running. It's cool that it tells me that the audio service isn't running. But if I look for audio service, I'm not finding audio service. We'll go to Microsoft. No, Windows, audio, there we go. Let's set that to auto. Let's start that one up. And now we have audio. So that's, I can hear it coming out of the headphones there. All right, how are we going? We're in the process of installing updates. Not a fair comparison, but let's have a look. Yeah, we're using 4 gigs of memory right now, and a bunch of CPU, but that's perfectly understandable as we are installing updates right now. Well, I'm going to stop talking for a bit and just sit back and just stare off.
Well, after all that testing, it's finally time to review the results. And if you've watched all the way, congratulations. I can't imagine it would have been super interesting, but here we are. But this is probably where you're most interested. So we have the numbers from Heaven. Obviously the score is probably the one that you're most interested in. So let's, oh goodness, I'm a bit out of, there we go. Let's go from low to high based on the scores. So you can see it's clear as day really. If we sort by score, Server 22 is lowest, Windows 10 is in the middle, and Windows 11 is in the very top there. If we, I should have plotted this before actually, but let's just do a quick scatter plot, or even just a bar plot. I think gets the point across. Yeah. I mean, you know which ones are which. Let's not get too carried away. I think the column there does the point. So we can see that there's. Let's make this fair as well. I don't know if 0 is possible, but I feel like let's make that 0 because I think that'll give us a fairer representation. So if 0 is possible, then server and Windows 11 are not too far from each other. But we can see that Windows 10 is closer to Windows 11 um, than Windows Server is to Windows 10. But there is clearly a difference. And that difference translates to, so if we do a quick average of the average FPSs, that translates to, let's insert just another quick chart there. Real difference in FPS. So it could be the difference. This is the Heaven benchmark, of course. And maybe Windows 11 have done something sneaky where they've extra optimized just Heaven benchmark or benchmarks in general. But we can see that it translates to real differences in FPS there. So it could be as much as, if that's 260, and that is what, almost 300 there. That one does bring it down a little bit. So 293. That's a difference of like 30 FPS. That's significant. If you play first-person shooters, depending on your hardware, 30 FPS could be the difference between 100 Hertz and 130 Hertz, which is still significant. Of course, after that, you do get the law of diminishing returns. Let's just go on to this other chart that I did here. So this is just an average of the averages. So like, this is just the absolute min and max of the average FPS and the average FPS. So not the min and max that was measured, just the average min and max. I just wanted to see how closely grouped or how reliable Heaven was between runs. So you can see Windows 11 Heaven seems to be fairly reliable between runs. But I mean, Windows 10, there seems to be one outlier there, and then the same goes for Windows Server too. So make of that what you will. It's not a super useful metric, I don't think. I just think it's interesting to consider. And then the other one, which I think everybody's most interested in, is the comparison between, so again, these are averaged absolute minimums that were measured. So, Windows 10, it was as low as, it's right here, or averaged, it was on average 33 frames per second. And Server was 60. Have I made a mistake there? That seems like I might have made a mistake. Let's have a quick look. So Server, I think I made a mistake there. I got Windows 10 and Windows Server mixed up. So we can see the absolute minimums. Windows 10 actually performed sort of on par as Windows 11. Yeah, just ignore those previous graphs. Just look at the numbers. But Windows Server, oh my god. And this was after I configured the server to prioritize interactive applications over background applications. So very interesting. Maybe there's some other tweaks I could have done, but you could definitely see that Windows Server was definitely going very low on the frames there. Let's just sort by max FPS. And again, it tells the same story as well. So Windows 11, it still delivered the absolute maximum frames per second. I mean, it's not a super fair comparison, but that's almost 700 frames per second from, min, like going by max FPS from min to max. Obviously, it's a much nastier score comparing the min FPSs, but it's still, I mean, going by the min FPSs, you're still double what you would get on Windows Server, where Windows 10 is pretty much on par. So there you have it. My hunch was that Server would perform better if we, disable some of the server features and tweak some of the settings to make it more of a desktop experience. But there's the conclusion. Windows 11 is the definite winner there. No doubt about it. So thank you for coming along with me on this journey. And If there is any part of the thing that you'd like more information on or a video, let me know. What I will do is I'll load up the Afterburner graphs, and so I'll just pause this. I'll load up the Afterburner stuff, and we'll have a look to see if there's anything interesting in there. So stand by. All right, unpaused. So we read the CSV files into LibreOffice, and we just did a XY scatter plot there, just without the scatters, just with the lines there. Nothing really stands out. CPU temperature. I mean, these are. Oh, it's just, they're all on the same sort of scale, 0 to 400, whatever that is. I could probably put the GPU power. So we can see Windows 11 was using slightly more GPU power, which makes sense. We got more frames out of it. You can see the usage was flatlining on 100%, and actually it was a bit more than that, I think. Let's chuck this on the secondary plot. Just give me a second. It's one of these. There we go. Format data series. There we go. Chuck that on the secondary plot, and then that sort of expands everything else. Secondary. Okay. It's certainly a lot more messy now, but it certainly makes some of those smaller differences stand out a bit more. So we can see GPU temperature appear to be ever so slightly higher on the server, which is very odd. The starting point was lower, so well, you can see on Windows 11 the starting point was 40, but server was 42. So that's interesting. Windows 10, it did start higher, which is interesting from the GPU temperature point of view. You can certainly see where it drops off between the tests, which is pretty neat. Try to be fairly consistent with that. What have we got? CPU usage. Interesting that it sort of spikes here. All generally around the same, so a bit under 20 with the occasional spike here or there. Even so, yeah, it looks like server was consistently higher. Hard to see what the baseline was beforehand. But even, yeah, so the baseline for the server was higher going into the testing, and I can't actually see if we spread that out. It looks like the baseline for Windows 10 was lowest, and it sort of lost amongst the noise there. And Windows 11, it seems like it wasn't as low as Windows 10. But even so, so maybe we were getting caught up with the CPU using system resources there. But yeah, very interesting. Our GPU usage seems to be capped on the Windows Server, which is interesting. It seems to not want to go. What was that? Let's see if we can get a point here. It doesn't give us a value. That's kind of annoying. But it honestly, yeah, it seems to be capped at like. I'm not going to go to the trouble of doing all that. Capped at like 98% or something. Oh, maybe I will actually. Format axes. Let's go. Let's just turn all of this off. So let's cap that out at 115 and make the major interval 5, minor interval count. Maybe we'll make that 10. Make that 5. Have to do the same for everything else. Format the axes. There we go. 115, 10, 5. Same for this one. There we go. Alrighty, and then we will. Oh no, that's exactly how we want it. So maybe I should make make that more finesse there. But I mean, that's 90. That's sort of halfway. It's like 97 there. Windows 10 is interesting. It's sort of like 97, and then it decides to jump up to sort of 99 or 98 there. Windows 11 seems to max it out, so that's really interesting for the GPU usage. You can definitely see the power is exceeding 350 there. With Windows 10 and server, the power sits below 350, so interesting. It does seem to jump up there. It makes perfect sense that it would correlate perfectly with the usage. What else have we got? Yeah, CPU temperature. Bit higher in Windows 11. That makes a lot more sense. If the CPU is power is drawing heaps more. So the server, the power is heaps less. I should have included frequency on this. So I reckon server, because it's meant to be like really reliable and everything else, I reckon the CPU runs at a lower clock speed. I'm going to just very quickly, can I do it across multiple? I'm not sure if I can. I'll give it a try. I want to measure I want to compare the clock speeds. So let's see if we can. There we go. So we've got. It's not looking good. So it's there. There. Do we lose it? There. Okay. I don't know if that's doing anything. CPU clock. Alright, and then let's just graph that. We've only got the one. Alright, that's fine. We can just graph individually and then bring them together. That's fine. Let's just create a new. So let's do clocks. CPU clocks. So Windows 11, let's go create a chart. Win 11. Just put Win 11, just so we don't get lost. Let's copy that or cut it. Check that on the clocks. Let's put it on the far right, because I think that's how we arranged the other one. Alright, Windows 10. Let's get rid of that. Windows 10. Is this going to be... Oof. Okay, that's looking exactly the same. Windows Server. Ooh, that's... Look at that. There's like no variation there whatsoever. Interesting. I was right. Oh my god. Look at that. So, I wonder if that is because server... That's interesting that Windows 10 seems to drop down a bunch more too. That seems to correspond to like the different benchmarks. So it's like running the benchmark and then benchmarks over, running the benchmark, benchmarks over, and then benchmark. The timing seems about right. That seems consistent there too with Windows 11. That definitely hovers around, 450 or something, 4,450. But yeah, the server it's almost 1,000 megahertz. Is that right? Yeah. These are megahertz, so that's 4.5 gigahertz. That's only 3.5 gigahertz. So we're sitting on. I wonder if there was a power setting that I missed. I might have to revisit this. Damn it. let's just say, look, out of the box, without digging too deeply, we can conclude Windows 11 does better than Windows 10 and Server 2022. So that's the conclusion. We're bringing it to an end there. I think that's awesome that we can see the difference and be like, well, yeah, the CPU's drawing like hardly any power here. And then, yeah, obviously draw the conclusion that it's running at a lower clock speed. My theory is that its Windows Server needs to be super reliable, so it'll run at a lower clock speed, so that there's more error checking and everything else going on behind the scenes. I'd love to find out if anybody knows anything more about that. But yeah, just to bring it to a close, what am I suggesting? Well, at the moment, I'm recording this on Windows 11. I've disabled a heap of all of the spooky stuff that goes on in Windows 11 for the time being. If you can afford it, and I think it's very affordable now, get an NVMe drive for your operating system. Responsiveness, just navigating the file system, opening apps, booting Windows and shutting down. It just happens. It's awesome. You type you're using that with your password in, and then bang, you have a desktop right away. You can start launching applications immediately. That's probably the biggest finding that I've had, whether it's Windows 10, Windows Server, or Windows 11. Highly recommend the NVMe drive. And yeah, for gaming, go Windows 11. That's the conclusion. It makes sense. You've got Windows updates for the foreseeable future. Obviously be compatible with all the software that you could possibly want or need. And if you're like me, I use this computer mostly for gaming. I'll be formatting this hard drive every 6 months or so as well. So if you're like me, then I highly recommend Windows 11 and get yourself an NVMe drive for your main operating system. So, upcoming videos, I've got a couple of future plans or future ideas. So I'll give you a little sneak preview. I want to see, does putting a heatsink, this is a Amazon special with some little adhesive thermal pads on the inside of it, does putting a heatsink on an NVMe drive make any difference at all? Or does it just make it look cool? And then the other one that I want to test is I have a vertical mount for the graphics card. It's just over there behind my 3D printer. I'm not sure you can see that on the video. I want to see if it makes any difference to the performance or thermals of the graphics card, and whether it affects the thermals of anything else. So I did have an NVMe drive that failed, and that was mounted directly underneath the graphics card, where the heat was getting blown straight down onto that NVMe drive. It wasn't a data thing. It was when they were kind of new and expensive, and I had a gift card for Harvey Norman, and I spent it on the NVMe drive. Worked well for a little while, and then it stopped working after a little while. So I want to see, I might even have to get some just separate temperature probes and log things separately. We'll have to see how technical we need to get with that. Hopefully, I'm sure there are temperature sensors in the NVMe drives, M.2 drives, that I can monitor. That would make my life a lot easier. But if there aren't, we will find an alternative technical solution to that problem. So thank you for coming along with me on this very long journey. It's finally recorded and edited, and I'll be uploading it very soon for your viewing pleasure, and I hope that you get some use out of this journey. Certainly at the start I couldn't find any great resources. I couldn't find anybody else who'd done this particular test to compare the 3 operating systems for gaming. So I've gone ahead and done it myself, and the results are Windows 11. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. If I can hit the stop button. There we go.